All right, I think we have it ready to rock and roll. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are here and can finally see me. I am telling you, one day I will learn how live streams work, but today is just not that day. The way that Zoom connects into these different platforms is just a little bit cumbersome, but that's okay because we're going to figure it out. But you know what we do know about and that we are going to set up today? Facebook ads and make it as easy as possible. So big shout out to everyone who's here today. How fun is this? I can see your comments down the side. I see Tila here and Jimmy. Jimmy, hi. I got your email. I haven't had a chance to respond. Steph's here. I'm so excited to see everyone's faces. Ginger, oh my God, like so many cool names here. I love this. Friends, if you don't know me, I am Bond. I am the ad strategist. I help people to turn attention into revenue using Facebook ads. And today I am going to be setting up my own Facebook ads here live with you. Now, in 2023, if you got my email earlier today, I've been playing the game of kind of F around and find out the scientific method on my Facebook page this year. And organically, I've been able to reach almost 50,000 unique humans. Now, the cool part about Facebook ads is that these 50,000 unique humans are now retargetable, right? Like I can put content in front of them regardless if the algorithm decides to serve up my content or not. And so today I am going to be setting up the close phase ads. So inside my program, the StrADegy System, there's 3 phases. There is connect, which is nurturing and audience growth. Then there is commit, where we ask people to give us their email address and they become a lead and go through our email sales funnel. And then there's close. And close is all about getting people to the sales page so that the people who are already going through your sales process have the greatest likelihood of becoming customers, ultimately increasing those sales conversions, well, the sales conversion rate, so that you generate more revenue from the same amount of people going through the process, right? Like instead of 5 out of every 100 people converting, maybe these ads can help you get it to 7 or 8, or maybe you're starting at 1 person out of every 100 converting, and this can help us bump it to 2, 3, as we take a look at our entire sales process as a whole. So that's a little bit of the back end of what we're going to touch on today. I am literally going to dive into Ads Manager and do it with you. And so for the pre-work, the stuff that I've done before this live to make it as easy as possible, I actually went through my Facebook page and I looked at every single piece of content. Yes, I am talking about like all the way back to 2017. I looked at any content that previously had a link that asked people to join the program, right? Like it's going to my sales page, or I looked for content that actually didn't have a link at all, but would make a great sales retargeting ad that would help people who are in the decision-making process to make a decision to join the program or not. So to keep it tight today, there are 4 stealth posts that I have curated. If you are not familiar with the term stealth posts, it's a little term that I made up where you don't make it look like an ad. A stealth post is a post which we promote, but it doesn't look like an ad because it doesn't have that like rectangular box that has the headline underneath with the typical button on there. No, it's none of that. It's just like text-based. It looks like it's coming from a friend, especially when your page name, like mine, is like your actual name instead of the business name. My URL is facebook.com/the ad strategist, but like my page itself just looks like it's coming from Bond. And so these pieces of content are just text-based with the link to the sales page. Because of course, the purpose of a close ad is to get people clicking over to the sales page. The purpose of a close ad is not to close the sale. We require our sales page to do some of that heavy lifting. So we judge the success of these ads by their click-through rate. Okay, so I grabbed 4 of those. I have 2 stories that weren't previously organic content. Now, I do recommend that when people are first starting, they go and they use a lot of the organic content that's already got clicks, that already has a proven click-through rate. But as you start to create more and more organic content on your page, you'll get a feel for what works and what doesn't. And then you won't necessarily need to always use organic content. Like you can create ad-specific content. So those 2 stories, I'm going to probably set up one of those today. And then next, post this live stream. This is something that I will do in my own time because there is copy editing and post styling required. But I will take the sales emails that people receive after they come to my website. Maybe they read the Bro Marketing article and they get all the way through to page 6, or they go to the adstrategist.com / I think it's request-in-invite. If anyone comes into my ecosystem through those 2 pages, they receive, I believe it's a 7-part email sequence. I'll take each and every one of those emails and then repurpose it for ads so that if somebody isn't opening that email, if they're not seeing that part of the sales process, they're going to see that content show up in their feed in another medium. So because I don't have that copy prepared today, we're not going to do that. And so that's going to be my work to do after this. All right. Any questions before we dive in and I open up Ads Manager? Perfect. I'm looking at the comments now that you guys can hear me and see me, because if not, I would have had to do that intro all over again. All right. When you talk about organic content, are we only talking text posts on Facebook, or are we talking about Instagram posts that performed well organically too? Great question. In my live today, I'm talking about Facebook because I'm setting up my own ads. And I personally believe it's better to build momentum and understand how to organically engage, get people to generate leads and make sales on one single platform before diversifying to other platforms. So you'll see as we get to placements, I'm only going to be using the Facebook placement, not Instagram at all. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to ask yourself, where are you hanging out the most? Where are your humans showing up? Where are you creating the best content already? Because you're going to get way better ad results by just focusing where you're already building momentum. I'll give you a quick story about that, because I had a client who really wanted to show up on Instagram. They really wanted to do reels. They really wanted their ads to be served up on Instagram because they believed that their audience was over there. But they weren't really showing up either on Instagram or on Facebook for the last little while, okay? So that's okay. You don't have to always start organically, right? This is not the only way to do it. I just enjoy it because it gives you so much data and analytics and insight out of the gate to understand what's working. So we started with ads, and our ads were telling us that clicks coming from Facebook, from their exact ideal targeted audience, it was something like 5 times cheaper over on Facebook than it was on Instagram. And we realized it was because when they did create content, they were creating content that was specifically developed for the Facebook platform and not necessarily in line with the images and the videos that needed to be used for more of an Instagram placement to get those results. So whatever you are already strong at, when we get to placements, you would then think through, okay, am I going to be using Facebook posts or Instagram posts or some combination of it, because I do have a presence and I do understand how to create content that gets results for both of those platforms? Great question. Okay, let's dive into Ads Manager. Hands up in the chat box if you guys have been into Ads Manager before. I am going to share my screen and get our Ads Manager on this up on the screen I have created a brand new demo account for us for this so that anyone who has not been in there before will know what it looks like when you get in there and it's completely blank. Quick favor though, because I can still see myself in the top box and I haven't live streamed on YouTube. Can you guys still see me on the screen, or are we just looking at a blank ad account right now? I have a feeling it's just the blank ad account. I'll take a quick water break while you guys pop that answer to me. You can hear the pregnancy out of breathness in my voice. Okay, we got some hands up there. Anyone want to help and answer? Oh, I can actually see it. Look at the boxes, friends. You can see the YouTube studio in the background here with me in the top. So I guess that answers the question. Amazing. So let's get started. The first thing to set up a sales retargeting ad that we're going to do is simply click the create button. And then we are going to choose our campaign objective. We are setting up close ads. What are close ads? What are close ads? They're sales retargeting ads. So we always just click this sales button. And then I love naming my campaign just as I'm doing it, because in my head, before I go to Ads Manager, I already know the creative, who I'm targeting, and what stage they're at, right? Like we already talked about that. We're using creative that already exists. We're targeting people that hit the sales page. I'm going to add in a few little nuances just because I haven't run ads for a while so that you guys can understand my thought process as I go through this. So I would type in a little short code for the StrADegy System because that's the program that I'm promoting with this ad. And then my naming convention is always to say something like purchase, right? Like I'm trying to get people to purchase the program. So that is the name of the campaign. Next, at the ad set level, now we can have multiple ad sets in a campaign. So what I want to do at this level is I want to be able to easily recall who I'm targeting at the ad set level. And so this one I'll call, what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it a warm audience. In brackets, I typically put like a country code. So because this is retargeting, I will just not have a specific country. We're going to target everyone. And then I will put the specific pages that I'm going to retarget. So the StrADegy System sales page, it's going to be a page view. And then I'm going to target the StrADegy System leads. So people going through the pipeline. And then I'm also, for this one, going to target the ad strategist. So the entire brand Facebook engagement. Because like I said at the start of the live stream, there's 50,000 unique humans that have been interacting with the page. So, and I'm going to be creating and repurposing my emails so that the emails are also showing up as ads. So people who have interacted with me that might not have given me their email address, they can still receive enough context through my ads themselves to possibly make a purchase decision. Now, if that, I might change my mind in a few weeks and be like, cool, I'd like to see, how would I do that? Let me think this through so that you guys can understand my thought process. I might, let's say a month from now, I would then go look at my number of purchasers, right? Like each human that has purchased during that time period. And I would cross-reference that transaction by looking at, did this human go through my internal email sales process? And if 100% of the people who purchased went through that email sales process, that would then tell me, okay, next time or not even next time, I would just maybe come in here and edit and remove the Facebook page engagement from these retargeting ads entirely. But because I haven't advertised in God knows how long, for myself, for clients, I've got ads running in the background for multiple platforms right now. I'm going to keep this on because I just want to bring this back to awareness. And then lastly, I am going to add in a name, but I'll come back and add in the name once we get to that point, because that'll make more sense. And then until we look at the ad creative, I'm just going to leave this guy blank. So we'll click continue. And now we've just created the shell of our ad campaign. Obviously, I'm talking a lot as I do this. But once you get in there and you start like doing this process for yourself, these steps are so fast. You'll go through them quite quickly. On this first page, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to move down to the ad set level. Okay, so then the first thing that I want to do is I want to specify that the conversion location is going to be my website. I'm not sending them to an app. I'm not sending them to Messenger. I'm sending them to my sales page, and my sales page has a separate thank you page with the purchase pixel on it. If you don't have your purchase pixel on that before you go to set these up, let's go make sure you guys have that there, because that is how you send information back to Facebook to let people know that, or to let Facebook know that somebody actually purchased who saw this ad in the first place. So our conversion event is naturally purchase, because close ads help more people get to the sales page so that they can make a purchase. Now, here's what I love about close ads. I used to recommend, what was it? It was $3 a day per every 100 people in the pipeline. And that was in, when was the last time I recommended that? Like 2019, that was my recommendation. And over the last few years, because of the way that most of us online course creators, coaches, consultants, like internet marketers, like big launchers, like all of the ways that our business model is set up with the lead magnet that goes to the emails that then gets to the sales page with the checkout and the thank you, yada, yada. I was realizing that the $3 a day budget for every 300 people was actually causing the cost. I'm going to stop this share just as I explain it, was causing the cost of the ads to increase. My CPMs were increasing because I was actually spending too much per person. And Facebook was like, well, I'm going to spend your budget anyways. So I'm just going to serve it, right? And instead of it being maybe 16-cent impressions, I was paying 67-cent impressions to get in front of that audience. And so over the last few years, I've been testing higher budgets, lower budgets to see what works. And for the last little while, I've literally landed on $1 a day sales retargeting ads. I know it sounds ridiculously low. I'm even doing this right now in an e-com brand where we have thousands of people hit the sales page each month. And we sell hundreds of the physical product. And yet I'm still just doing $1 a day with these sales retargeting ads because we have multiple of them, because we're using the sales conversion objective where Facebook, like they're going to go out and find the people most likely to purchase. But what that means is the people who aren't as likely to purchase, they're not going to see the ad as much as the people that Facebook have the like historical data because they fired 80 gajillion other pixels over here. And so like those are the people that are going to see these ads. That's why I just do $1 a day. Now, as you begin to scale, you can always test other objectives because like the people that we're targeting, those that hit the sales page, and typically those that are in the sales process, just those two things. It's just me today adding the extra engagement. As those numbers start to increase, we could then test something out and be like, okay, I know Facebook is going to show my purchase conversion ads to the people most likely to purchase, but they're going to exclude like a tiny bit of this audience. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to set up the same set of creative, but this time all of those ad sets are going to be under a link clicks campaign, right? So now Facebook's going to go out and find the pocket of people within those who hit your sales page and those that are like in your sales funnel who click links. And then you like at volume, you might then do it again and duplicate it and be like, this time, you know what? I trust my creative. I trust that the right audience is seeing this. So I'm going to do reach, right? But out of the gate, we want to use Facebook's superpower and targeting abilities to be able to like go cherry pick the people most likely to buy. And then actually, I'll show you just a visual representation of the number side of that equation here. So let's say in that scenario, you wanted to generate 10 more sales next month using Facebook ads, and your program is $897. So that would be an additional $8,900 in revenue. Let's say you currently have a sales conversion rate of 5%. The leads that would then be required to make those 10 sales is 200 new humans into your pipeline. And then based on how your your landing page itself converts, for me, the Bro marketing article, I believe it's like a 5 or a 6% conversion rate. So 5 or 6 out of every 100 people who start reading that article ultimately become a lead. But then over here, I believe the last time I checked, we were at 8% conversion of these leads over here. So I love the numbers on that, but let's just go back to like 5%. Let's say maybe you have a typical landing page. It's a webinar maybe where they can sign up on the spot. So instead of 6%, which, you know, people making it all the way through 6 pages, you're able to get like a 40% conversion on that page. And then you need way less clicks than I do to be able to hit those 10 sales over there, right? And so when we're first starting out with these sales retargeting ads, the reason that I just set up the purchase conversion first is because if I can just increase this by 1% conversion, just get one more out of every 100 people to buy, watch how it changes the number of clicks required, watch how it changes the number of impressions required. It just drops them like flies, right? Like we need so much less attention. My entire thesis of Facebook advertising is like, it costs less to buy less attention. So we want to start really helping people at every step of the process make the right decisions, but also like look at our own content and be like, are people resonating with this? Is this converting? Is this getting us the outcome that we're looking for? Is it adding value to people's lives? You know, all the questions to improve the entire process. So that was a really long way to go around and say, for our daily budget, I set it to $1. Now I'm Canadian. So as you can see, the dollar conversion rate is always fluctuating in here for Ads Manager. Like 2 weeks ago, I could do it for $1.30 as the smallest amount. So I'm just going to make that an even like $1.50 a day because it is the Canadian dollar over there. Okay. So you Americans, you guys can just do the $1 a day ads, especially like until you scale, and then you can start testing out those other objectives as you go. For our schedule, our start date, we're going to start it right away. Our end date, we're just going to let it ride because the beauty of the StrADegy system is once these sales retargeting ads are set up at $1 a day, you do not have to touch them. Like full stop, period. I got to get on a soapbox again before we dive back into Ads Manager. I have been running the same sales retargeting ads in my partner businesses for clients in my own business for literal years without touching them, months on end. All I do is I keep looking to see, hey, are these ads, these sales retargeting ads that I'm setting up, getting clicks over to the sales page? If they're getting clicks over to the sales page, they're doing their job. That's the entire purpose of close ads. So as long as they're getting those clicks, I leave them on, even if they have a really, really tiny ROAS. Like even if it's below 1, for anyone who's not familiar with the term ROAS, it's return on ad spend. So think of it like a 1 ROAS is you give Facebook $1, it gives you back $1 in revenue. 5 ROAS is you give Facebook $1, you get back $5 in revenue as a result. I am just like such a big believer that you set it and you forget it and you don't mess with it if it's not getting you the results that you want, but it's getting clicks. It's not your ads that's the problem. Like we have to go look at our sales page. We have to ask ourselves really insightful questions like, what isn't clear about my offer? What are they not understanding? What am I saying to people when I'm talking to them one-to-one that they innately understand during that moment, but yet when they see my ads, they're not interpreting it in that same way. You know what I mean? Like those are the hard hitting questions. If your close ads are getting clicks, your close ads are doing the job of the close ad. If you're not getting sales, your sales page and the offer itself is the thing that's not working there. So these are truly like set it and forget it style of ads. Whew, okay, got off my soapbox there. Amazing. I just was going to check if you guys had any questions. If you do have questions, pop them below. If you're interested in the StrADegy system, I believe there's a pinned comment here. You can request an invite to join the StrADegy system. It's theadstrategist.com/request-and-invite. That is a horrible URL to say live on a live stream. I just realized that as I said it out loud. Okay, so we are not setting an end date to these bad boys here, and we're gonna move down to our audience. Now, we just came into our ad account. You're like, Bon, I don't have any audiences. Like, how the heck do I go and target those people? I'm gonna show you. We're gonna go over here and touch these 3 lines, which I just recently learned, thanks to Courtney Schoberg, that it's called a hamburger. We go touch the hamburger. And it is going to launch our entire tool menu. Now, I use audiences a lot, so you'll see it in my shortcuts up here. It might be in yours up there, but typically it's a little bit farther down in the menu. So we're gonna just click on audiences and wait for that to load. Amazing. Now we're going to create a custom audience. So click to create a custom audience. We are going to first create a website audience. I'll click next. And then we're going to target anyone who's fired my pixel, right? You might have different pixels in here if you have access to different accounts. It should just be one if you're setting up ads for your own account there. And then for events, we're going to choose people who visited specific web pages. Do you guys remember who we're targeting? There was 2 of them that if you're doing this for yourself, and then there was one that Bon's just going to do because she likes testing stuff. If you remember what those are, feel free to go write them in the comment section there so I can cheer you on for paying great attention and getting further ahead and knowing how to do this for yourself. While I go open up the sales page, because that is the answer to one of them, because I wanted to grab this here. This is the slug of my sales page. Not sexy, but that is the URL that we use internally. As you saw, we use that redirect of theadstrategist.com/join for most things. But when I'm sending people directly to the sales page in email or ads, I'll use this one, which stands for the StrADegy System short form sales page 1. Because back in the day when we were testing different things and angles and lengths, this just helped us understand which one was working the best. Okay. So once we say people who visited specific web pages, typically we would set this retention based on the length of our sales process. Now, the problem that most of us are going to have as course creators, as consultants, as service providers, really anyone who's just not in the e-com world, is that the number of humans that are going through your sales process at any given time isn't going to be drastically large enough so that it has like an audience to constantly be serving up to, even at $1 a day, right? Like it sounds like it's not much budget, but like it's going to reach a few dozen people every single day. So we need a few dozen people going through our sales process or hitting our sales page, or we need to expand our retention, meaning the past number of days that people have visited, in our case, the sales page. So the longest amount that you're allowed to choose is 180 days. And because I haven't advertised in a while, I'm just going to go and say 180 days. And then I may come back again when I go look at the number of people purchasing via the sales process itself or via the organic engagement. When I do that analysis, I might make some changes there as well. So to target people who hit the sales page, you're going to do URL contains, and then you're just going to add in, this is called the slug. So it goes, shoot, did it have, you don't want the // Okay, so it didn't keep the // So you take from between the // just grab, copy and paste that guy, come over here, and you're just going to put in the slug. Now, I think when people request an invite, therefore they're in my sales process, this is the URL. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head. It now is invite requested. So I'm going to copy the slug of that guy too. And I'm going to do a separate one. So my first one, I'm going to say TSS, not sales page. I'm going to do page view, 180 days, because I changed what I typically do for that. So then I'm going to create my first audience. I'm then going to just repeat that process, create audience, custom audience. It's going to go into, I guess it skipped a step there. Usually it shows you this, but it just went back into website. And then I'm going to choose people who visited specific web pages in the last 180 days. URL contains, invite requested. This time I'm going to call it the StrADegy System lead. And then I just realized I usually don't put 180 days because that's like the longest amount. So I'm just thinking through my own process. I typically, for clients, only add a date qualifier to like these naming conventions if I've changed and I'm not using like the maximum allotted one. But for people who might be newer here, I'm just going to keep that naming convention just so that it makes sense for us. So now I have these two audience sizes. What's going to happen? Let me move myself out of the way for a second. What's going to happen here is that the availability says that these are ready. It could say, populating. It could say any other number of things, but we're not going to be able to see the estimated audience size until Facebook processes it, which sometimes takes like 24, maybe 48 hours. So if this doesn't show up, I say in the program, like, just don't worry about it, move on. If you're concerned, literally start your ads like 3 days from now so that it for sure has time to populate. Otherwise, don't really worry about it. But these, they will take a second to populate. Now, these are the two audiences that I typically recommend. Inside the program, we get a little bit more advanced with dynamic sequencing. So it's like, if somebody opts in, but you give them 7 days worth of value first before you start pitching on day 8, and then day 8 to like day 12 is your sales cycle. And therefore you don't want them to see anything before day 8 or after day 12. And then maybe that process repeats when they go through the next like inner sales sequence that you have set up. Like for one of my clients, we set up a 100-day sequence where it was like four funnels kind of stacked on top of each other that you could enter just through one entry point, and they kind of all shifted. So it's like, if you entered into this top guy, you would go through all 4 in order, but if you entered through the 3rd one, it would reshift like how you go through them on the back end, like super advanced stuff. The strategy part of that is that it teaches you the inclusion and exclusion audiences so that you can more specifically target people at certain stages of the process. Now, I don't know if there's any questions about this that you guys might have. I see Daniel's question, but we'll loop back to that afterwards. In terms of, but bond, iOS, yada, 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 right? Yes, I understand that some people have opted out of allowing us to like pixel them and actually send that data back. So there are email marketing systems. I'm really enjoying ActiveCampaign lately in terms of how they let you put people into a Facebook custom audience using their email. And then as they move through the funnel, the email funnel, when they hit a certain point, you can actually remove them from that email custom audience as well. So I'm really liking that. I'm on like the legacy version of Infusionsoft, which isn't even called Infusionsoft anymore. It's Keep, but I refuse to get rid of it because it also is a checkout and it's an amazing price that I have. So I don't even know how my email custom audiences will work. I think I need to set up a Zap. So that's my homework after this, because what I want to be able to do is go like, is not only target people who are hitting the like landing pages itself, but target the number of people who are in like actual leads because they've given me their email addresses. And again, the program like touches on all of that. So I'm not going to set those ones up right now, but I will create another custom audience of my Facebook page, right? Because we're doing engagement. And I'm going to do, a few options. Where the heck, why is it not? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do everyone who currently likes or follows my page as the first one. And instead of calling this like in brackets TSS, actually, let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see it, because I like to make my Excel or my G sheet spreadsheets so tiny so I can see such a bigger view. So this one I'm going to call the ad strategist, because it's like my brand as a whole, not just specific to this product. And then I'm going to call it page likes, right? Like account center accounts. This is just basically means people who currently like or follow your page. So has page likes. That's my next audience. That's going to populate. And then I'm going to do it again. Another custom audience, Facebook page. Everyone this time, instead of liking, everyone who engaged. And then same with retention we talked about before in the last, 180 days for the website. This one lasts for a year. So like December of this year, anyone who said anything on my Facebook page, who's liked, commented, shared, followed, clicked a link, clicked an image, DM'd my page, liked the page, like I can target them up until December. And if they keep taking action, that 365 keeps resetting itself. So this one is going to be Taz page engagement. We'll go ahead and create that audience. I'm going to do it one more time for, what else do we have? Visited our page. You know what? Let's try that, because it says anyone who visited your page, regardless of the actions they took. I love it. Let's go with Taz page visitors. Okay, so we got all those people in there as well. You're going to see how crazy big these audiences are when you actually show up and intentionally build them. We won't see it on today's call though, because, like I said, it takes 24 hours to maybe 48 to be able to do that. So then the next one is accounts who engaged with any post or ad. I'm not doing that because look at this one. Includes people who have visited your page or taken an action on a post or ad. So it's like, this includes everyone in it. Actually, now that I say that, that would include page visitors too. So maybe I don't even have to do page visitors. See, just learned something in real time, guys. Love this. I guess the last one that I'm going to do is people who sent a message to your page. So I'm then going to go Taz page DMs. And then we'll create those audiences. Okay, so simple, done. The more advanced version, we would target the people like the email leads themselves, but we've got a solid starting pool. So we'll click the hamburger, head back into Ads Manager. As that loads, I'll check if you guys have any questions here. Jimmy just asked this question. Are you using Facebook Conversion API on server side or just relying on a pixel? The full disclosure, answer is Amanda Bond is just still relying on the old pixel. For some of our clients, they use the Shopify integration, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm obsessed with the Shopify integration. And then other clients, like we just really haven't used it because of the way that we run the ads. We're not scaling to the moon essentially with this methodology. Like we're just healthily trying to help our conversion rates, but they already have such strong conversion rates like at every step of the funnel. And we're creating that like ecosystem world building. I think, what's his name? Alric, did I say that properly? Alric Heck, he's in YouTube advertising. He talks about like the surround sound effect. So for me, the tracking, like I can't justify spending $1,000 a month on a tool like Hyros to get the level of data that we need when, you know, you might only be putting a few hundred people or a few thousand people through a program in a single year. But at scale, that is different. Because you guys, if you've been on my Facebook page over the last few months, you know, my personal objective is not to scale StrADegy to the moon. My personal objective is to have a healthy, high margin business so that I can take the revenue from that and invest in other assets like businesses, like real estate that continue to pay me whether I'm working on them or not in the future. So it's really about like that grander scheme building wealth. It's probably just a justification. You're like, Bond, you should probably put the API. Okay, I probably should. I'll add that as my homework to this afterwards. What up, JT? We have a question here from Daniel. Will your strategy work in Europe? Data protection and Apple anti-tracking is making it tough over here. Oh, you're my digital hero. Keep up the great work. It's great to see your face, man. It's been a long time. I always preface with, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't necessarily know the like data requirements over in Europe. I don't know how much the anti-tracking has impacted it, because truly the clients that I've been working with in the last little while have been mostly US or Canada based, and they typically target primarily England. And I don't think they target enough of that specific population to have noticed any kind of difference. So I don't want to speak as an expert on that topic, and would recommend, like, if I find somebody that has a better answer to that, I will definitely bring that information to either the page or link up with it afterwards in these comments, because it's a very valuable question, but I'm not going to pretend like I know the answer to it when I don't. Okay. Man, haven't live streamed in a while, and doing it pregnant and a little bit breathless is great. I said I haven't live streamed in a while last week, and my friend's like, you've done 2 live streams like in the last 2 weeks. Yes, I meant before that. Haven't built up my live stream tolerance again yet. Are you guys enjoying this? Are you getting some insight out of the process? Things to take into account as you go do them in your own businesses, ideas that come to mind. Let me know how you are liking this so far. Is this something that we should continue doing as we set up other phases of the process so you can see it in real time? I would love to hear your perspective on that. Okay, So now we're back here in Ads Manager. It's going to look just slightly different because we zoomed in, right? Maybe I'll zoom out one because I do Ads Manager and it literally like looks this tiny and small all the time, because you'll see as I go to open the ad set, you can either click this button here and then click over to ad set and it'll show you all the ad sets that are underneath of it. Or you can just click directly on like this blue permalink and it takes you to the next level of the process. But as you open this, so you can either like click the thing to highlight it, click edit. You can click edit down here. There's also an edit button over here. They're just all over the place. So I don't know if I have one that I use particularly. I'm constantly like just flying in and out of each like campaign ad sets ad. Okay, so we were at this audience section down here. Let me blow it up a little bit bigger now that we're here. And do you guys remember who we're targeting? Yeah, everyone that we just set up in this case, right? So we're going to go anyone who saw the sales page, put them in there. Anyone who became a lead, put them in there. We're going to do anyone who likes the page, anyone who visited the page, anyone who engaged with the page, and anyone who DM'd the page. Now, on this right-hand side, it's going to give us like estimated daily results. Because we just created these audiences, like, don't even worry about this. This is not going to tell us really anything that we need to know. So I would just not worry about that at all. Now, you can exclude people who have already taken an action. In the program, I actually say, like, why keep paying for somebody to see your close ads if they've already purchased the program? In the last little while, my friend, Mike Heiser, who we had on talking about his $1 million a month ad spend, which is just amazing, he shifted my mindset around that just slightly, because he said, Bond, if you don't exclude the people that purchased, those people are likely to actually comment on your ad and leave more social proof about their experience in the program, right? Like, they're going to help you create social proof. So previously I would have clicked exclude, and then we would have back in the audience thing said, hey, anyone who joined the StrADegy system, and I would have done, this is the thank you page when you request a invite, right? Like become a lead. I would go get the URL of the thank you page when they, oh, sorry, there's audio in my background. There we go. When they join the program, I can't think of what the URL is off the top of my head. And I would then set up a second audience of the exact same people. It would just, instead of website custom audience, it would be an email custom audience of my purchasers. And then I would exclude those people. But Mike opened my eyes up to it, so I'm not going to do any exclusions and just keep moving through the process. So I don't want to reach anybody beyond those custom audiences, even if it's likely to improve performance, because we know people aren't necessarily clicking a cold traffic ad and buying a $900 program. Like, that's just not a thing that happens on the daily. So I don't want Facebook to try and get it out to people. Even if it thinks it can find the right people, I would prefer that they do that at the lead generation stage. So in my 3 phases, connect, commit, close, we're in close. I would prefer that they did that in commit. Okay, so I'm just going to not have that box checked. And then I am going to remove the country entirely. Wherever you live, that's the country that's going to be auto selected. And then, because these are typically people that have visited our sales page and are in our sales process, we don't need to worry about age, gender, detailed targeting, anything like that. So that is how we target the humans at this stage of the funnel. It's as easy as that. You guys might be like, Bond, that wasn't easy, but like, it is, guys. We just did it live. We talked through it. You totally understand it. All you had to do was go get a few URLs, come back here, put it in, go slow, pause, do a little split screen. If you join the StrADegy system, we have these like beautiful step-by-step SOPs. So you can like split screen it on one side and it's like ads manager, like not a GIF, but like an image step by step. It literally shows you where to click each time so that you don't have to watch a video back like this for like 40 minutes and be like, where was that one thing that Bond said that one time that was so smart? And I want to make sure that I click that, right? Try and make it as easy as possible. Next, going back to Ginger's question at the start of the live stream, I know people who scale love the advantage placements. I don't. I am a manual placement, like to the core type of person for all of those reasons that I explained earlier. Okay, so if you joined us a little bit late to this live stream, it was about 5-10 minutes into it where we talked about placements. But here, because I found 4 stealth posts, which means text-based posts to promote the program, and 2 stories, I'm going to start with one of the stealth posts, which means I'm not going to target Instagram. I'm not going to target Messenger. I'm not going to target Audience Network. Now I can't get rid of Facebook, right? Because there's like different areas that are all still chosen, but I'm not going to target stories on my first one. I'm not going to target in-stream ads. I'm not going to target search results, and I'm not going to target in article. And you're like, Bond, you literally just got rid of almost all the placements. Yeah, and I'm going to get rid of marketplace, video feeds, and right-hand column. I literally, with my stealth ads, only want to target the Facebook feed because that is what they are designed for, right? Like they're designed to look like it's just an organic page post at the end of the day. So that is everything that we need to do on this page. I typically only use like the cost per result goal when trying to scale, and for lower ticket items where your like average order value might be like sub $50 and you're like, Facebook, I know that you might want to try and get sales for like $75, but I really need you to only spend $12, or like don't bother putting it in front of people. For a $900 program for people this far in the sales process, like we don't need it. Man, even for like a $297 program, $197 program, you likely don't need it either. Okay, so once this is all done, we're going to go down now to the ad level. If you're not in this screen for some reason and you're like, where the heck is the ad level? As long as you're still on that original campaign, right? And you click through, you can either click here or just make sure this has it checked and you can come to the ad level there. So this takes you to that exact same spot. And then you can click edit here, right? Because we don't have it selected. If you click the checkbox, you can do it here, excuse me, or here, or if not, you can just click underneath of it to edit. Okay, so then this last one, remember I did the pre-work on this, guys. So I am going to open up, actually, let me see. Can you see my screen when I have that, that up? I'm trying to, hold on, I'm going to stop the share just as I wait for myself to catch up on the like little bit of delay, because I want to see if you guys can still see my URLs that I copied over somewhere else. No, it doesn't look like it's popping up. Okay, I'm going to share my whole screen. And Kelly just said, you're making me want to do Facebook ads for the first time in years, especially retargeting leads I've talked to as a way to follow up. Yes, like, think of how powerful if you have DM conversations with people on Instagram, if you're like chit-chatting with people all the time. Remember, it has to be from your Facebook page or your Instagram business or creator profile. I don't believe the Facebook professional account counts just yet, right? Like you can get the analytics, but you can't get the additional stuff just yet, but soon, hopefully. But love, love, love. Oh, thank you, Tila. So easy to follow. I'm so fired up that we're doing this, because I know if you guys even just add close ads, if you have people coming into your ecosystem, the next one that we're doing. If you guys want to keep doing this, let me know. Like if you love seeing the behind the scenes process and you want me to set up my commit ads live next week, you guys just let me know. We can totally do that. Because even if you're just using, there's two types of commit ads. One is the one that we start putting in front of cold traffic, which if you guys watched our bro marketing breakdown live stream, like I think it was like a month or two ago, that was the one thing that I would change from the bro marketing article, because like I villainized cold traffic so hard in that article. I was like, we don't target cold audiences. There's a time and a place for it. We can totally target cold audiences. I'm not so, anal on that anymore. But the second type of commit ad, the recovery ad, is the one that is basically just like this for people who landed on your landing page but didn't become a lead. And just doing that when you're sending like a few humans through the process, like each day, each week, each month, it can make a big difference in the number of people joining your list for like nothing burger amount of dollars at the end of the day. So I love that one. Please let me know in the comments. Is that something you guys want to show up to and see? Because I would love to keep doing that. Okay, so you couldn't see what I was looking for. That's what I was trying to find out. So let's go back to desktop view. I believe you should be able to now. If not, I'll just visually or auditorily describe it. I just have the like notepad style editor up here, and I have 4 permalinks. These are called permalinks. They are the links to previous organic Facebook page posts. So content that I have posted on my page. You may recognize this one if you saw it in your feed, one of the 2,000 people that saw it in your feed back in February. This one was from this year. So what we're looking for here is this part of the permalink. So you'll see at the top here, it's like the HTTPS www.facebook.com / whatever your page name is / posts. The number, so it used to just be 13 numbers. And then I guess we just, there's so many posts that we just needed to turn it into like 52 letter strings. Facebook exceeded their number string possibility, I guess. We're going to just highlight everything after the slug, but make sure it doesn't include like a question mark. Like if you come to a Facebook post and it has like a question mark and an ID and everything after that, you don't want that. You don't want anything after the question mark or the question mark. But to get that slug from the perma post, any post on your Facebook page, you just go and click underneath of it, and then it'll launch that in a new window, or in the same window. I can't recall. If you do the command, if I do command, I can launch it over here. Now for Instagram, it's a little bit different. We're not setting up Instagram today, so I'll just quickly like describe it as we do it. But now, what was that about? This was about when you join StrADegy and when you want to throat punch me in module 2. So I'm going to call this ad module 2 throat punch, because who's not going to remember what that is? So remember when I said before, we are going to wait to see what ad creative it is, and then I'm going to come back to my ad set name, and I'm just going to add that onto the end of it. You'll see why in just a second, but now it's my warm audiences in the countries that I'm targeting for what specific qualifiers that I'm targeting, and then the name of that specific creative. Okay, so then go back to the ad level. Now I got to get that slug again because I copied the other thing. And under ad setup, let's switch this on just so you can watch it in real time. Get my big head out of the way. Instead of creating an ad, one of the things that I love about our process is that we use an existing post. We don't have to go through the process of being like, I'm going to manually upload a carousel and I'm going to add one by one by one. I'm going to do the body text And then I'm going to add the headline and then write the description and put a little button call to action. Excuse me. Then I'm going to add in the website. It's all done for us when we use stealth ads. Not saying stealth ads are the only way to go. I'm going to be creating these other types of ads, but for today in our setup, I'm just going to use the existing post to get started. Okay. So because I have the slug, I can just click here to enter the post ID and submit it. And it is going to pull up the one where Courtney tells me she wants to throat punch me. Just kidding. Courtney didn't tell me that. Everyone else tells me that. I know though, guys, you're going to get so much insight of the process. So like, I'm okay if you want to throat punch me for a few days because I know the epiphanies that are waiting for you on the other side. If you are doing Instagram, you would just change post and then you would just select Instagram. Oh, maybe I don't have because this is a new account. Oh, I know why it's not showing up. I was like, why isn't it showing up? Because I hadn't added an Instagram placement. So when I chose placements, I would choose Instagram and then I would choose my post. And then here with Instagram, it has a cool, you can do select dates or you can select like a specific type to help you narrow it down. But then you literally have to manually go through this. Flex moment. Friends, look at all that engagement. Oh my God, this Facebook page, so good. Ooh, look at that. And so that's how you add to it, okay? So now that we have our creative uploaded, all we need to do is just make sure it's tracking the proper website. It's that easy when you go through module 2 and you do the curator and you find the good ads, right? Like we've already done all the freaking work. Oh my God. So then we're going to, drum roll, make it live. Okay. Boom. I just hit publish. This ad is going out into the ether. It's going to be, you're probably going to be seeing it in your timeline. If you've interacted on my Facebook page, if you've visited the sales page, you're going to see these popping around, right? Amazing. So now at this stage of the process, it's going to say you have no ads. That's okay. It takes a minute because what's happening over here is it's processing. So as soon as this goes from processing to in review, this delivery will update to in review. And then once it's live, it'll just say, what does it say? Oh my God, I'm mind blanking. I don't think it says live. What does it say? Does it say live? Ready? Does it say ready? Learning. That's what it says. Oh my God, pregnancy brain moment. This will turn to learning, which just basically means it'll say learning until you get 50 purchases for this campaign, which for you, if your course is $3,000, it might take you forever to get 50 purchases. Don't worry about learning. That's one thing that I've experimented with in the last little while. Does it really matter? With the $1 a day strategy for these sales retargeting ads, it does not matter. Don't worry about it. Now I'm going to refresh this because it'll probably show us or in review now. Boom. It's like I've done this before. Okay. So now that we have one campaign with one ad set and one ad creative, I have 3 other ad creatives that I'm going to take live. So let's go grab the slugs for those. Again, this is what the stealth ad looks like, right? There's no headline, no button. You guys wouldn't be able to see boost post, right? If I went over into my page, it just looks like this for a user, right? Looks cool. You'd think it was just from my personal page. That's why I'm a big fan of stealth posts. So to add in another one, a lot of people are like, well, you just duplicate the ad because you're using the same targeting, and then you let Facebook decide whether they're going to show this one or that one. Do you guys know what I mean there? Here's your campaign up top, and then you have an ad set underneath of it. And then previously people were like, okay, if you have 2 ad creatives, put them under the same ad set. And then Facebook will determine the winner of the 2. That's great when we're trying to prove that a piece of creative is going to get the results that we're looking for. Remember what the results are for the close phase? getting clicks to the sales page, right? So if it's brand new, you've never put it on your Facebook page, you've never done this, you've never done that, then sure, we might want to split test them against each other. But in this strategy, we want to layer them on, right? And like, friends, you might just start with one close ad. That's actually what I recommend in the program when you set it up for the first time, just to make sure like things are delivering and just to make sure people are clicking, right? Like you're learning to go through this process. I'm just going to show you how fast you can then layer on multiple things, because that's what I'm doing to set up my stuff right now, because I know that that's fine. I know this creative is fine to put out in the world because it comes from my organic content and it isn't just an ad itself. So I wanted to explain that, but we're not putting it under the same ad set. Instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be duplicating the ad set. Okay, not duplicating the ad, we're duplicating the ad set. So we're going to click there, we're going to click duplicate. It's going to duplicate that. And here's where, remember I said we add the name of it, right? Like the name of the creative, so that we can see, oh my God, it's so long. Usually my names aren't quite that long, but I wanted to include all of this just so that it was clear, right? And so our second post, what are we going to call this one? Don't need to get better at ads. Maybe we'll just call it that. Oh my God, that's so long. No, we'll just call it already proven marketing. Okay, so then I'm going to just come here, update that. Content, I'll call that. That sounds better. Okay, already proven content. So now I'm going to take that name and I'm going to click down to this guy. This is the draft, right? Like if I got rid of this, you'll see this is the one in review. We don't want to mess with that. That one's in review now. But this green one, if I unclick it, it's green, right? You can see that slight color difference there. This is the one that we can still edit. So I'm going to then come over here. I'm going to update the name to match. If you're ever like, I don't remember which is which, and you're in this view and you hover over it, it's going to tell you, see, like already proven content matches already proven content. And then throat punch matches throat punch. Okay, so then what do? Grab the slug, come back over here, and we just swap it out. Boom. Second ad done, right? Like, look at how easy this is when we have it prepared ahead of time. And then, like I said, it's going to look like it's not there. So that's okay. We'll move on to the next one. We are going to now duplicate throat punch again. When I'm setting up for like a launch, I do like, if there's 8 ad creatives, I'll do them all at once. But for somebody who's just starting out, I don't recommend it. Like literally go through this duplicate process each time, because sometimes I like get into the flow of it and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? How? I renamed this one that? Like even I struggle with it sometimes, so it's probably better, but I like to just find as many shortcuts as possible. So then number 3, what do we got for number 3? When one of our clients gets an email saying, ad copy so good, I want to sign up again. My work here is done, and that's what's waiting for you inside the StrADegy system. Okay, so this one we'll call ad copy so good. We'll start, I'll do it opposite this time. Okay, so we'll start with the creative. See, it's green, right? Like if I click down here, that one's not, but the green one's the editable one. We'll update that post. And then we'll call it ad copy. I like how it's like in brackets, so it reminds me that somebody said it. Ad copy so good. Boom. ... implying that there's more to the story. And then just come over here and update the tail end of that guy and hit publish. Now we got 3 done. One more. Okay. We'll grab the slug before it even loads. Look at us saving time. Okay, and then this one is a testimonial, and it is highlighting Caroline's testimonial saying that it's the best training she's ever taken, and she's taken them all. Literally look at her product course thing. Caroline loves to learn. I love her because she loves to learn. So lastly, we're just going to duplicate it. Let me teach you a new way, okay? Instead of going back out to the menu, you can just click here, click duplicate. Actually, we can click quickly duplicate because we're not doing more than like one, right? We're not doing two. We can just click quickly duplicate. So now I could have renamed it so that it would save me time, but we'll put in the slug first. I want to get Carolyn's last name because I'm going to butcher that. Write it down. And then I'm going to come in here and boom, boom. So then now I know the difference between all three of these things. And when I go look at the results of them, I can look either at the ad level or the ad set level and clearly see like which one's performing better than the others. So friends, we just set up 4 ads. Like, yes, we talked a lot during that time period, but what are we at now? We're at not even 90 minutes. We're at 75 minutes into, 110 minutes. What is that? 70 minutes into this process. And we just killed it in terms of finding out those last things. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions, because I'm just going to set up one stories ad final to show you that. But I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions if you have them. So feel free to drop them below and we will touch on them. And if not, I'm just going to go right back into Ads Manager and show you how you would change a placement for the last one. So let's go back to Throat Punch. Let's quickly duplicate that again. And then this time, I'm going to add in an amazing conversation that I had with the legendary Sarah Murray a few years ago. And we created like some really cool like stories animations with that. So I update the name. I'm coming down here. And this time I'm going to choose, actually, I'm just going to choose all of the stories and reels at first, because I want to see what this placement is going to look like before making a final decision of like where this goes. So let's get rid of Facebook feed, and now only the stories and reels are selected. Okay, so then come down here. It was called Sarah Murray. This time we'll add our Instagram account. And this time we will use the create ad option. Okay. Actually, I just realized this ad account might not have the video in it because it is my new demo account. I don't know where the video is off the top of my head. I think it's on a drive somewhere. So we might not be able to finish this one. So if you do have questions, pop them in the chat and we will get to those if I cannot get this one set up. But it's going to be a manual upload. Catalogs more for e-com users. And it's going to be a single image or video. You could set up a carousel, I believe, for stories, but not on stories for Facebook. And I believe when you set up a carousel, it converts to like one file for the real side of the equation. But don't hold me to that until next week when I've set up another 3-parter that we also have like in single video file. So here I'm just going to click to add media. This one is a video. And then I'm just going to wonder if it's there. It does not look like it. Yeah, it's not there. Okay. So it's showing some videos. No, let's just pretend it's this video. It's not, it's like a cute conversation bubble one where it like looks like you're in our DMs. But again, I don't have it in this ad account. So we would just select next. So I'm on the fence with these, like there's standard enhancements and the like image brightness and stuff. I keep standard enhancements off, but image brightness on. This is just personal preference. So I'm going to just keep this one off and say done. And then I would come over here and, write any text that I wanted to add. I don't even think a headline shows up for these guys, but buttons do on some of the placements. So it's like you can see the tiny little swipe up here, and the button over here, and the button, and this one's like a big white button for both Reels placements. But we would just put in, actually, there's a link to my page here. So remember how I said we would put in not the short link, the /join, we would put in the sales page. So I clicked join, but I would grab the sales page itself. And so put that in, fill out everything else that I needed, decide which of these placements I liked, decide, maybe it doesn't show up quite as well on some particular placement. Maybe the button gets in the way of text, like could be anything. But just, decide yes or no. And then if any of those placements are a no, I would come back to this bottom section and just be like, this is not a Reels, this is just a story version. And I would get rid of Reels over there. But otherwise, I would just make sure that it has the adstrategist.com as the correct pixel, which it should, because all of our other ones had it, and then go and publish that bad boy right there. But I'm going to discard it because I don't have that creative with me at the moment, friends. So I apologize for that. Amazing. Whew. That was a jam-packed 75 minutes. I hope you got some value out of it. I would love for you to tell me what you plan on setting up from this, like what it inspired you to do, whether that's here or over on the Facebook page. Feel free to DM me if you guys set things up and you turn them on, just so I can celebrate with you. Right now I'm going all in on the Facebook page side of the equation because I believe in building that momentum on one platform first, mastering it, maxing out all the functionalities, like just getting the most from the least, including then turning all of your content into non-leverageable, like from non-leverageable assets, right? Like having to show up every single day and either batch create content or create it on the fly, changing from that like constant cycle that sometimes can lead to burnout, and really finding the leverageable assets that you can put in front of people over and over again as they move through your sales process, so that you can just have like a baseline of results every single day without having to show up and like, worry about the social media hamster wheel, which, as a pregnant mama over here, that is something that's very important to me. Not having to rely on social media during the time that I want to be home, spending it with my family, getting to know my little nugget, because we don't know if it's a girl or a boy. We are finding out as a surprise when it comes. So we don't have, like, I just call it my little nugget. And I just cannot wait to spend time with that tiny little human that comes. So I want that for you guys as well. And so let me know in the comments how you enjoyed it, if there's anything that I can do for you. There is a link at the top if you guys want to get the tools like that calculator we showed halfway through, like the standard operating procedures, so that you don't have to watch me do this for a 75-minute video. You can watch me say things for 4 or 5 minutes with, studio shot, great background, and great animations. I gotta shout out our videographer for his insane animations and ridiculous like references. For anyone in the program, you guys know the Harry Potter map like blew me away when he was explaining how people move through our ecosystem. And then the SOPs, so that you can go like side-by-side screen share to get those things implemented along the way. So I believe at the top, there's a pinned thing with the URL. It's the adstrategist.com/request-an-invite. Like I said, the worst, literally the worst URL to say on a live stream. So I gotta make that shorter. I gotta do like a short link where it's like the adstrategist.com/invite. Way better, right? Look at all the things we're learning on this. Okay, so I'm just going to check our comments to make sure that we covered everything. We got Ginger's comment, we got Daniel's question. We got Jimmy's question. Okay, and then Keldy just asked, so sorry if you covered this before, how much engagement on an organic post would have you turn it into an ad? Is there a magic number or just one of the top performing posts? In the program, I teach that it's going to be easiest to get results with your lead generation ads if your click-through rate, which means the number of people who see your post, like not the total impressions, just the reach, and the number of people who click through it, if that ratio is 1% or higher. Now, with your close phase ads, I'm okay if it's like if you post that to your page and it actually didn't have a 1% click-through rate, because when you're putting it in front of people who visited your sales page or who are in your sales process, those people will have way more context than just the humans who've like interacted with your sales page in general. And then therefore the click-through rate of your ads will typically be a little bit higher. Now, if you turn one on, you run it for 5 days and like not a single soul has clicked it and it's reached 200 people, that's a 0% click-through rate. We would likely stop like serving up that piece of content and then analyze why it wasn't working, right? Like maybe we're gonna switch the copy, maybe we're gonna switch the image depending on what you're using. Maybe we're gonna like look at the context of it. We'll wait until that social proof shows up. But one of the tools in the program is like a calculator that sorts. So like you go to your Facebook page or your Instagram and you upload your metrics into it. Like I do it for literally since I started selling that specific program. So for me, when did I start selling the original version of StrADegy, which is discontinued and we no longer have it as an offer. That was like 2017. So like the last 6 years, I catalog all my posts, I put in their performance metrics, and then I say, is this connect, commit, or close post? And then from there, it like auto sorts it and it spits it to the top and it says, would this make a good close ad? Yes or no. And all that sorting happens automatically for you. So that's one of the cool tools in there. So play with it. If you're like, I don't have any that even hit that threshold, that's a good indicator too, because it tells us like we need to practice the craft of showing up and connecting with our audience, right? Because like I see so many people and they're like, Bon, my ads aren't working. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but like you gotta show up and you gotta do the work and you gotta understand your audience and you have to know what kind of offer resonates with them. Like, friends, it's simple. Online marketing is simple, but it's not easy. Like I can boast an 8% click-through rate because I have been a student of this craft for literal years and written thousands of ads. So it's easier for me to go through that process. And so like, if those numbers aren't showing up out of the gate for us, yes, there's ways like we can improve it, like adding on close ads in general, right? Like if we've got a 3% conversion rate for our sales process already, maybe we can jack it to like a 4% or a 5%, just getting the percentage of people who weren't opening our emails to see the ads so that they have a chance to go over to the sales page. You know what I mean? But I could go on a soapbox forever about just performance and that results take time and like we got to show up to this process. Okay, I'm missing something. What unicorn hand pose, friends? I totally missed the unicorn pose. So you guys are gonna have to fill me in on where I missed that. I'll have to go back through these comments afterwards. Kelly says, this method seems so much better than churning out content. It's not a fave to make content for the sake of making consistent content. Yeah, totally. Me too. And I've learned so much about my humans, my community, what content resonates, what content formats are working best for 2023 and beyond by going through the process of showing up online organically since the start of the year. You know what I mean? Like I've been running ads behind the scenes nonstop for the last decade. but it's like, I still saw value in going through that process because of the insight that it gives you. Hence why the module 2 thing was called Throat Punch. It's because I make you put out content, right? Like I make you look at the content you have. And if you're like, but I don't have content, I'm like, you should probably make content. And then it becomes this whole thing at the end of the day. So that is that. We have 4 close ads running, my friends. I am exhausted. That was 90 minutes of just pure fun and excitement. I'm so happy to see all of you here. I love seeing all of your names in the comments. I'm so grateful that we got to do this together. Again, let me know if you guys are interested in doing this for the other 2 phases, or, you know, other parts of the process. You know, I did the pre-work, for example, of getting those posts curated and pulled together myself. So it's like, you're like, a Bond, I want to see you do that for something. Like I'd happily be able to share around that. So let me know in the comments below what you guys are enjoying and want to see more of. If you're interested in joining us, inside the StrADegy System, we would love to have you. The URL again is theadstrategist.com/request-in-invite. You can also just go straight to my homepage, theadstrategist.com, and read our legendary bro marketing article that's been read by like, it was like 81,000 people the last time I checked. That's wild. That's like almost the size of my city that I'm living in right now. And so you can go there and go through the whole methodology. Like I said, the only thing that's really changed since I produced that article back in 2019, sorry, I just saw Tila's comment about the photo. I am following now. For anyone who doesn't know that photo, it's on the Facebook page. Go to the photos and you'll see the unicorn hand pose. Looks something like this. What was I saying? Oh, the only thing that has changed from that article in 2018, iOS included, like iOS impacts included. I am not seeing, for consultants, course creators, service providers, coaches, like I am not seeing the impact that people are saying that they're seeing in other places. I just think their sales process sucks, but that's me. I will defend that at the end of the day. Is that we do now target cold audiences, which kind of people were coming in with the mindset that like cold audiences were this like villainized thing. However, I still have a preference towards what we say on page, I think it's page 4 or 5, maybe it's 5, where I've done ad spend studies that show people in our warm retargeting audiences, that's our email list, our Facebook page engagement, all the audiences that we created today, our Instagram engagement, our website traffic that's been pixeled, as well as our 3-second at least video viewers for both Facebook and Instagram. Those still perform way better than cold audiences in terms of cost per result. In 97% of cases, there's always going to be 3% that are like the exceptions to the rule that prove the rule, or whatever that statement is. But we do target cold audiences so that we can fuel the 3 phases, so that more humans are in my sales process, which is what we're going to be setting up next, so that more people are seeing the sales page, so that more people can see the close ads, because Facebook does require an audience of at least like 20 people to deliver that content to. So we want to make sure enough humans are in that pipeline so that they're serving up correctly and well at the end of the day. So that is that today, friends. So grateful for your time and attention. So grateful for everyone who stayed, asked great questions. I'm just so excited for you. I'm so excited for Tila. She just said she's about to ramp up her StrADegy ads. She's on the bro marketing article, friends. This is the woman that had 125x ROAS or something. Yes, that, Tila, like celebrity status over here. You're also mentioned in the updated program, Tila. I don't know if you've gotten that far in it, but I think you get a call out. Unless we edited that part out, but I don't think we did. I think we kept it. Now that I'm like thinking something got switched in there. So thank you for your time and attention. Leave any questions before, and I would love to see you inside the program if that's the next right step for you.